Before we get down to our final three, the biggest bucks of Big Buck Night, a fellow named Dick Giacino called me up about a week ago. You're from Big Rapids.
Yes, sir.
You have some videotape of what?
Well, I caught, looks like an 8-point, and I really can't tell what the other one is, but he's a good-sized buck. And I just caught him fighting in the woods.
With his VCR, your VHS camera, right?
Right.
Why don't we roll that, Abby? Take a look at these fighting bucks. Holy cow. Did you have your camera with you?
No, now this is, I was coming home from work about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I happened to see a buck cross the road. I thought it was a buck. He was acting kind of like he was in the rut, you know, how they kind of prance around. Well, anyway, I ran down there, or drove down there rather, and I looked out the window, and here's 2 bucks going right at it.
Wow.
So I watched them for probably a minute and a half to 2 minutes.
Excuse me, Dick.
Yeah.
When you say going at it, you're not kidding.
All right, one gets knocked down. I'm not sure whether we've seen that or not yet.
No, I don't think he's been knocked down, but boy, they are. You know, when you talk about rattling bucks and imitating the sound of a fight, I really had no idea it was this type of knockdown drag-out.
That's pretty intense.
How long have they been doing this?
Well, I ran this on a dry run, and I figured they were fighting for about 7 minutes before I got there. And I taped about 2.5 minutes of the fight. So,
wow.
Pretty close to 9 minutes, you know.
Now, they're not locked, from what you can tell.
Well, see, I've never seen them fight. At first, I thought they were locked because one would go one way and they would go the other way, and you never separated during the whole match. But
did you see any does in the area? Or
no does, no. Of course, my eye was right on my, looking through my little window on my camera, so.
Boy, you got the lighting just right. Oh, there, it looks like he's going to push the other one down.
Now, this is out of my car window, mind you. Now, I decided to move my car because I couldn't tell whether I was going to get run over by some vehicle, see? So I...
Oh, you're driving.
Right. I didn't want to take a chance on not catching anything.
We call that a dolly shot in the business.
So anyway, then I got out of my car, and I start walking next to him. And at this point, right now...
You're walking out of your car?
Yeah. You get a pretty good glimpse of some horns here, right here.
Boy, they have to be getting tired. I mean, that's a strenuous fight. If you say this thing was maybe a 10-minute battle.
Yeah, I would say it's close to 10 minutes. A couple of times they take a little break.
Oh, I see. Now you're moving in through the brush.
Right. This is a power line.
Of course,
Look at right here.
Oh.
Oh, see that one shot? And now it's just about over here.
There doesn't appear to be any body blows or goring. That's it?
Yeah, yeah.
What excitement. What did they do then? Did they run off?
Yeah, they both ran off and they set it up out in the woods. That was it.
Okay, your heart must have been pounding.
I was excited, yeah.
Dick, thanks for bringing that down.
Okay.
That was terrific tape. What do you think, folks? Pretty outstanding video. Now, if you don't mind, we're going to get on with the final three and take a look at the 19-point.
Well, let's go for it.
This buck must have been a fighter. Now we're into our 19-point bucks here. What a tremendous one. Joe King from Eaton Rapids, down here in southern Michigan. I tell you, you talk about luck. Coming across those 2 bucks fighting, that was incredibly lucky.
Yep.
Of course, you spent how many years waiting for a buck this size?
22.
How many deer have you gotten in 22 years?
Oh, one every year, but they've been classified as does.
Antlerless deer, and finally. Isn't that great? There's hope for guys like me. In fact, you were a guy like me until this year. You broke the pattern. But look at this, tons of brow tine points up in here, and a rack that, well, it's 41.5 points plus spread, but 19 points. Any particular story?
No, I just heard some shooting and waited for him to come across the field to me.
You waited?
Well, I turned around and watched a hunter go across the field after he'd shot a couple times.
Was this deer running towards you?
Right at me. Right at me. So I just got down on my knees and waited.
Prayed.
Yes, prayed.
Your heart must have been thumping like crazy after 22 years.
No, I didn't get excited until I counted the tines.
I bet. You probably counted over and over again.
Over and over.
And still do. We still do go through and count the 19 points. Well, Joe, a terrific story.
Thank you.
Terrific luck. Terrific. Oh. And this 19-point was taken by Jim Kirby from Flint. Jim, yours scored 5 inches wider than the last one, 27 and a half. That's, of course, you can go all the way out here.
Yep.
With the span. You are some buck hunter,
Yeah.
some deer hunter. I mean, you're not that old, and how many deer have you taken in your lifetime?
26.
How many bucks?
Let me think here.
Oh,
Probably
I don't like
about
talking
5
to
bucks.
guys who can't even remember how many bucks they've taken. This too many, huh?
Yeah.
Any close to this size?
A 14-pointer when I was 14 years old. I shot him with a bow.
Holy cow. I tell you, some guys do have the luck, but you put your time in on
Yeah.
deer hunting, right?
Yep. I track them and
Well-
watch them.
What did you do to get this bruiser?
Well, I went out to sit in my blind about 7 o'clock, and it was a little bit late, so I sat there for an hour and sent my buddy down to the corner. And I went down to pick him up about probably 10 to 8, and I started walking down the edge of the corn, and he was laying down in the corn. I walked up about 25 yards from him and shot him in the neck.
Well, you know what you're doing.
Oh, yeah. I
That's
tried
probably
to.
why you sent your buddy down there and you said that you'll drive?
No, well,
no. Did you know you'd have better luck driving?
No, I wasn't really in the corn yet. I was going to walk down and get him, and then we was going to stretch out through the corn and walk down through. But he was laying too close to the edge for me to let him go.
Well, that's a terrific buck. Points plus spread. This is the biggest one of Big Buck Night. We have one that has just a couple more antler points, though, Jim.
Yeah.
But congratulations on that.
Thank
Points
you.
plus spread, the biggest. Now hold it here, just a second. James Kirby's buck, I just said, was the biggest overall with 46 and a half, but, okay, Pat Flanagan's buck, you win in all categories, Pat. You got a 23 and a quarter inch spread, but 25 antler points. The biggest buck of Big Buck Night, a total of 48 and a quarter for the score. This is an incredible rack. Hold it. First thing we ought to do here is check these points, Pat.
Okay.
Let's see, you had this scored probably by about 500 people
At
who have
least.
counted these points. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's it on that beam?
That's it.
Okay, now we'll take this beam. We'll do the big ones first. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 for that one, 19, 20, 21. There's one right behind here we can see that's 22. Now for 23, what about this one here? I guess it's a potential to score this one as a point that way and as a point that way. Say that's 24, and this one would be, what, 25?
Five.
Just makes it as an inch. Oh, man, this is one awesome rack. How did this score the Boone and Crockett style?
Well, the green score on it so far is 214 and 5,
214.
214.5, right?
And the current record?
201.1.
This is one awesome rack, a heavy beamed rack from where?
Huron County.
Huron County. We never get any bucks from the thumb.
No, they're
I
all
mean, very rarely, frankly.
right, true.
There's supposed to be big ones up there. Is this a farm, your farm? Of course, you're from Livonia.
Yeah, no, it's not my farm. No, it's in the family. My mother-in-law.
Oh, mother-in-law. Boy, there goes mother-in-law jokes for all times, right?
For sure.
Well, that's incredible. What's the story? Opening morning, 7:10.
Right. We were running a little bit behind because we decided that we were going to stay out all day. So we packed a lunch, and I had my little stool and my lunch, my thermos bottle, and we were just barely making it back to the stand, just getting light, getting settled in, and here he came. There was a doe ahead, a buck on the outside, and this one on the inside.
You hardly had any time to get excited.
No,
right?
I didn't.
You just shot, and
I
that
did,
was
yeah.
it.
There was no time. There was, I just seen the doe and the first buck, and then this one was behind her.
Did you have any idea when you went up to this buck that this was going to be the state record?
No, not at all.
Well, that's incredible. Pat Flanagan from Livonia came up with the biggest buck of Big Buck Night. Take a good look at this bruiser. 48 and a quarter, 25 antler points, even if it's only 23 antler points, Pat. You've got the record books every which way.
Thank you.
Congratulations on that, the biggest buck of Big Buck Night. How about that? Yeah. It's the new state record, non-typical buck in the Boone and Crockett book. 214 and a half green score, 25 points with a 23 and a quarter inch spread. A Williams Gunsight Hunting Award score of 48 and a quarter. When you look at these big racks, keep one thing in mind. Hunting is not a sport. Not the way I define it, it's an activity. We don't shoot deer just because they have a big rack. All the hunters you've seen here tonight were hunting deer to put some venison on the table. Now that's the only kind of hunting that I feel is justified and honorable, and that's been the Outdoors Club ethic all along. Eat what you shoot. So I hope this season you keep all this in perspective. Have a safe hunt, eat what you shoot.